So you recently went in to
Mental health facility.
Mental health facility.
Yeah, I lost my mind. I had a complete break with reality, and I went to a place called Sierra Tucson in Arizona, not far from. Did you say you're going to Red Rocks?
Yeah.
Isn't that in Arizona?
No, it's in Colorado.
So there's a Red Rock in Arizona. I've passed it lately a lot, so I was like, oh, maybe that's the Red Rocks that people play at, but that's in Colorado.
Yeah. Red Rocks is in Colorado. I'll be there in October. Guys, get your tickets at bertbert.com.
Well done.
I'm assuming it's already sold out, but just if it isn't, there's still general admission tickets. So were you smoking weed at the time?
When I went in, yeah, but I didn't think that was my problem.
I don't think it was your problem either. I know you don't smoke weed anymore.
Yeah, once I was in there for a month, like obviously you can't smoke weed in there. And when I was getting out, I was like, you know what? Like, I'm fine. Like, I haven't done it for 4 weeks. Let me see how long I can keep going. So right now, I think I'm at 16 weeks weed free.
By the way,
sooner or later, I'll start doing it in months.
I'm not a big weed guy. I mean, I smoke
massive weed guy.
I know you are. I went through and pulled out. I had to go through the house and get all our weed because I was like, I guess we're getting high today. And then Christine was like, oh, he hasn't smoked weed in 2023. And I went, oh, for real? I was like, okay, that's cool. I guess I'll work out tonight.
What an option. It's been 16 weeks weed free. Which is how many months? 4 months? Technically.
I don't know, I feel like I have kids again. I do have kids.
Doing math.
I still have kids. When they
I met one downstairs. Yeah. She was like Tusk.
Yeah. When they go, he's 16 weeks, and then that's your. I used to have a joke about it. That's what your wife would say. She's 16 weeks, and then that's all you knew. So people go, "How old are your kids?" You go, 16 weeks, and you use that, and then they're like, "She's 3 years old." You're like, "I'm 16 weeks. Is that not 3 years?" She wears a wristwatch. So that was always my determination of how old a child is do they wear a wristwatch. And that's
when a 16. That's when a kid who's measured in weeks becomes a child, becomes a human. Today, I'm a man. That's a kid's bar mitzvah when they wear a fucking watch.
Yeah. So because I feel like, from what I've heard, I feel like that mental break that you had is coming around the corner for me.
You know, honestly, it's not the scariest thing in the world. If you're burning the candle at all ends, and then you're buying a candle factory and lighting that on fire too, and I suspect, like me, that you're just like, hey man, things are happening. I want them to continue happening. That was life for me since like the moment Clerks happened. Yeah. And people go on vacations, and I don't do that kind of thing.
I don't do that either.
Like I
don't understand people who don't work.
I'm with you. Yeah. But it could. I'm not saying it will, but you may wind up at a place where you break because people aren't made to work as often as we do. And it's not like the work that I don't know what your parents did, but it's not like the same work that like my dad did, where my dad hated fucking work. Yeah, and he would do it, and he would come home, and then he would not think about work at all. He would leave it there. His job was just a thing to pay for what he loved most in life, which was his wife and children. Wife and child, who I absolutely fucking adore though, were secondary to work. Like, I was like, you don't understand. The chances that this shit was ever going to fucking happen for me, I'd have a career, are fucking 1 in a billion. So I ain't going to fuck that up, and I'm going to keep fucking going. So
okay. You're saying everything I've said out loud. People go, I remember Chris Hardwick. Shout out to Chris Hardwick. I hope this doesn't throw shade on him. But he goes, don't you think it's a little irresponsible for you to have children when you work as hard as you do? Shouldn't you be home raising your children? And I was like, are you speaking a different language? What are you talking about? Yeah, in my head, I was like,
that sounds a little judgy.
Yeah, I was like, I remember, you can find the quote, whatever he said. I remember going like, I remember saying, and I've always said this, dudes go to Afghanistan for 2 years with families. So I justify me working hard as like, everyone works hard. And I want to work as hard as I want to work. And I don't understand people who take breaks off. People go, I need time off. My assistant has not had a day off since he met me. Right. My wife has to tell him, you need to go home. And he goes, but he works the way I work. And it's just all day, every fucking day, from the second I wake up till the second I go to bed. But the thing that I heard that you said is like you were having a hard time distinguishing who you were versus who you really were. At a certain
point, I always kind of chalked it up to there's me, the authentic me, and then there's the other guy, which is the one who goes up on stage. And while I was in there, I realized that I was being kind by saying there were two of us. I've identified 10 different facets to my personality, all of which are always trying to grab for the wheel at any given moment. The other guy was the one I eventually let take over. I went on the convenience tour from like September to December, and I probably shouldn't have gone because there was something happening in my life that I probably should have stopped and taken care of my head and heart. But instead, we had like a 95% sell through, and I was like, I can't fucking. We got tens of thousands of people waiting. I'm not going to disappoint them. Plus, I wasn't the only one making money. There were other profit participants in the thing. So I was like, if I don't go, I'm absolutely fucked.
I make people money. I make people money. When I go on tour, I make 18 people's mortgages.
Yes, that's the thing. It's like, it's not just, I don't just support myself and my family. I've been supporting a lot of people for a lot of fucking years.
And I'm not even counting agents, managers, lawyers. I'm not counting about those people. I'm talking about 18 people are get on tour buses and get in semis, and those 18 people work for fucking 4 months and then get their nut. Like and that happened to me when I did the pandemic tour. I did a tour during the pandemic, and all anyone said to me was like, and it made my heart swell. But like, you go to a place and do big fucking guys who move stages and lights are like, Bert, this is during the pandemic. Thanks for the work, buddy.
Yes, of course. Because there was no fucking work to be had for those cats, and the fact that you would go out there and do the work means that like you're putting food on the table, not just for you and yours, but for people who come up to you and say hi and thank you, who you'll never fucking see again.
Yeah.
There's a lot of responsibility in being like the chief breadwinner, and I don't just mean in a family. I mean like for this, the trickle down, for the amount of people that you take care of, is a responsibility that you haven't even come to grips with yet. To stop means it stops for so many other people.
For everyone.
And they don't like, it's not like a negative thing where they're like, that's my meal ticket and shit. But that's how they live, is off of you. And you get to do the things that you love. And I could tell that you do these things not out of a sense of responsibility or not because you're like, I got all these mouths to feed. This would be shit you'd be doing for free if it wasn't your job.
Bert and Tom, Tom and Bert. One goes topless while the other wears a shirt. Tom tells stories and Bert's the machine. There's not a chance in hell that they'll keep it clean. Here's what we call two bears, one cave.